What is going on, everyone? It is November 19th. It's interesting. Rocco has been doing the Trump dance for longer than Trump has, really. He's been doing this. You can watch the tapes. He's mad. He doesn't like attention. That says. It is Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. Tuesday here, trading trends. Interesting day. This is going to be unlike some of the other videos due to the inside moves we've had. An impressive rally in the market. I think it's getting a little bit tired. We'll see. One thing that's not getting tired and is going to be much of what we talk about today is new all-time highs for Bitcoin. Call it 94K. It was trading 93, 965, I believe, was the peak, and then it sold off a little bit, but to like 91. But it's new all-time highs, and that really is what today is going to be about. Earlier this morning, you probably woke up to the news, Ukraine, I believe, striking Russia, and then the market was down on that. The Dow was down as much as 400 points, and then we rallied all day. We'll take a look at the intraday chart. But right here, this guy seemingly kind of looks like Captain America a little bit, Chris Evans, but to the moon, as they say. And today, all about Bitcoin. Again, new all-time highs, 94K, call it. You have to be long. Look for your spots. We'll take a look at the IBIT. Interesting to note, also, options are now trading as of today. Massive amount of options trading in IBIT, and a massive contract that was trading was the next month double, basically. So synthetically, they're expecting IBIT to go up a double, or in Bitcoin, basically trading up to 180K by the week of Christmas. So absolutely crazy bullishness. I mean, it is money behind it. It's absolutely insane. We'll take a look at the charts and all that good stuff. All righty. So first, let's get to the S&P intraday chart. Pretty nuts. Comeback. Like we said, to me, the risk is really, really defined here. We were talking about, hang on, hello. Also, just a programming note. We are going to be, the next show will be Friday, I'm pretty sure. So we'll end up here with the recap. I know tomorrow is the big NVIDIA earnings. We'll look at everything, the effect it had on the semiconductors and the whole marketplace on Friday afternoon. So it'll be a big program. And we're also getting close to our 100th video, and I'm going to have Rocco probably dress something extra ridiculous. So he doesn't know it yet, but he's going to be mad. So today's bar, yeah, we opened bad. This is where the war in Russia news was hitting here about 9 a.m. That's we got all the way down to about 583 in the SPY. They immediately bought on the open. The great Art Cashin said, even on rumors of war, you always buy the market because either you make money, the war didn't happen, or it wasn't as bad as feared, or you have no one to collect and you're dead anyway. So it's really just upside, or you can't feel it. That's a good way to describe investing. Anyway, so here was a VWAP, the orange line, sharply higher by the end of the day. They bought it all day, truly 11:30, a little bit of selling. You saw that red bar there, and then a little bit more at 2 to 2:30, but nothing really serious. A little bit toppy here. I believe this is when Bitcoin hit 94K around at 2 o'clock, and then a very strong close here. So as I zoom out, to me, the risk reward is very, very defined in the market right now. I thought we were going to base right around here, 585. I liked if you had any entries in the market underneath that. You had a small one today. We got all the way to 582. Yesterday, 585. The day before that, 584. And before that, you don't really have this until before the election. So that was literally the point for right now. All that being said, I see us, being in distribution mode. I did a little bit of chart work on it. 3 of the 4 indices have already shown, distribution phase starting around yesterday, today. So it can get, squeezed out. I'm curious to see if we close again higher and if it's a higher bar, if we take out, the weak highs. So we'll see. But all that being said, if you bought underneath 585, I love that. That's what I did synthetically through XLG last week. That's what I intended to do, and I got that pullback, and I wanted it, and I took on it. But yeah, downside here, if we get a sell-off, like I said, over the next 2 weeks, I think we're getting down to about 570 on here. And again, you got to stay get it in the markets because 570 is our levels just first discovered for the first time September 20th. So you're at 2-month lows essentially. That wouldn't even trigger a lot of algo sell programs. 3-month low momentum And it would even trigger that. I don't think your next sell is going to go beneath that. So, and the next target is, I'm still calling for it. It's at 590 for Thanksgiving, and it's funny, we're at 590, and next week I'm going to be eating mashed potatoes and pumpkin pie, and Christmas. The target's 600. I still think that's going to work out. So that's your target. It just seems like we're going to get back to where we were on the 11th, maybe a little bit more exuberance, and you get to 610. But I think you want to stay long these. Ooh, my voice went up like Peter Brady. But I think you want to stay long these next 5 weeks. So that's the intraday. To me, very clearly defined risk. Down to 570. Even if missiles go off, it goes down to 570, not much more than that. It bases around here, 585 to that 590 region, closer to 585, which is a 21-day exponential moving average. And your upside still around the 600 mark. I have to respect the expanding volatility, putting the upper Bollinger Band on this 20-day period up to about 605. So maybe a little more than that due to animal spirits and people having, NVIDIA can also set off a catalyst change either way tomorrow afternoon. So we shall see. Now, this is super interesting. One of the reasons, let me pull up the document again. It's pretty interesting. So this has never happened actually since I've been doing this for months, at least on this show, and when I do it even myself. So right here, multiple sigma standard deviation moves of the day. Gainers none, downside none. So to me, it just tells you the market is tired. It's not really making a move literally either way. Nothing really pulled today. In the morning, Russell was down hard, down 1.5%. Then it battled back. So these had changed. At noon, this was a totally different story with some entries. But at the end, nothing. So totally today, a digestion day. It coincides with my my distribution day. So to me, yeah, the market could be taking a breather, but I do think we're, like I said, going to stay right around here, probably a 1 to 4 tops % sell-off over the next 2 weeks. That supports seasonality too. Usually get a little bit of redness going into Thanksgiving, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. Maybe we get it in one flush, and then hopefully soon that'll be your entry. All right, so yeah, I'm not going to spend much more time on this. This is not a ticker. Don't be stupid. That is not. Let me see if NA is a ticker. I'll waste time on that. NA is Nano Labs. There you go, but not what I'm referring to. That's a $30 million company. It looks like it's a semiconductor. I wouldn't do that one. Okay, so let's get to the top 3 gainers of the past 5 days. Back to the charts. Where's this thing? One sec, guys. If you have a ticker or something you want me to look at, put it in there. I'll take a short, medium-term view on it, whatever it is. Let me see here. Okay, sorry about that. Alrighty then. So the first one, top 3 gainers of the past 5 days. Ken Griffin really set this off yesterday, saying nuclear is the future. You saw a lot of the uranium mines. I'm going to put up the chart in a second. Give me. I can't. YouTube is acting a fool, as it were. Here we go. So Ken Griffin set this on fire the other day, and that was this candle here. This big green candle when it went from 31 to 32.5, essentially. Today, adding another 2%. Technical analysis sent me into this trade last week. There was a 50, 200-day golden cross. I'm a nerd and look at stuff like that. And it'd been basing for a while. It was still a buy in my book, especially this close in terms of percentage and duration to its 52-week high. I said that's enough for me to take a flyer and some other things in terms of price return and how it's at least been strong from this from these August lows, and not to revisit a new bottom. And the 200 moving average is flat here. So this has been. Whoops. So today up 2%, and this is actually the winner for the week so far in terms of the past 5 days. Sorry, the screen is going absolutely crazy here. All right, hopefully you guys can still see that. Okay, cool. So apologies. So uranium of 5.1% here. A beautiful look at that. It's called a hammer when you see that structure there, a long wick here, lower shadow there. And then you close at the absolute top of the day. Lets you know that the move is not done. My full value for this, like I said, you can go watch the tape last week when I entered, is $34, right around there, which would be new 42-week highs. And like I said, these crazy, more high volatile assets sometimes can do it in 3-4 sessions. And that's exactly what uranium looks to be doing from the 15th when it was trading $30. Now trading 32.5. And if you look at the ATR, which is average true range, it's $1.11. This is absolutely capable of doing that by, 2, 3, 4 days. So we'll say, I think this has another week or so to get to my target of 34. I'm a Jan calls. I'm going to stick with this and think animal spirits takes over this asset as well. Okay, so that is uranium. GDX is the next big winner. Of course, we're going to get the Bitcoin. That's actually third on the past 5 day look back, even though it did make a new 52-week, new all-time high today. So GDX, a 4.5%, just barely trailing uranium. So, commodities driven here, and Bitcoin is the third leader. So this is not Microsoft and Apple and Nvidia leading the pack this week. So here is the GDX. Again, like I said, this can make big moves. October 22nd was the 52-week high. You got a look at this. This is not astrology. It got to the actual 200-day moving average on November 14th. I commented on the video, I think that was last Thursday, that is a pretty good opportunity to buy. That was $35. Now we're at $38. I think this is an accumulation phase to at least 39.5. That's what I've been saying. So it's on target there. That's at less than $2 away. So, what is that, like 4-ish% or something for this? And then ultimately after that, I think it might take a little bit of time, but this could head towards closer to like $42. But that could take closer to a month or so. But yeah, the strength is strong with this one. And of course, what the whole shebang is all about, Bitcoin, new all-time highs. We'll look at IBIT, and then out of respect, look at the obviously Bitcoin to dollar chart. Our dollar at 52-week highs, by the way, and Bitcoin still absolutely cranking. Obviously not a factor when it runs this much a day. Through the IBIT, up 1.1% today. There's a lot of buying or trading and buying, mostly calls, like I said, in IBIT options. Interesting to see how those turn out, but take a look at the chain. Absolutely crazy things going on today on day one of the trading. For this, I've been saying look for a pullback, although when these high volatility assets, especially like a Bitcoin, once it gets on the treadmill, it can do PRs. It's like Juan Soto. It can give you grand slams every, at bat or something. So it can do that. It's not, 58-year-old boxer. So it has a lot of momentum. It can also always stretch, its capabilities. My full value for IBIT here was about $48 to like $49, 50 on the absolute rich side. So trading 52.5, I'm still calling for a pullback. Reasonably, a pullback to $45 would make sense. And that's a $7 move in IBIT. So I wouldn't chase it here. I love the new all-time highs. I've been talking about Bitcoin like for the, many months here. You have to respect it on an asset return basis. You absolutely have to. And then you invest in it accordingly, or risk adjusted trade it. It's pretty much like 5x volatility of the S&P. So either take a fifth of your risk in terms of dollars. That's a very simple way to do it. Very simple. But there's more to it than that. That's if you're just equating it. You can obviously take more risk, and some people go hodl or YOLO into these things. So anyways, my target for this is $48 or so to $50. I'm looking for a pullback in Bitcoin over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Let's go right to the bell of the ball. So here we go. Let's take a live look into what it's doing. We'll take a little bit more of a look at this. So this is the 1 year, just nice still looking candles here. You'll see some of the volatility here. So the massive breakout here the day after the election, okay, 68 to 76. And then on the 11th, it went from 75 to 88 when it had that big breakout, really big breakout over the March, previous 52-week highs. And now you've had long shadows on pretty much all the days, strong day on the 15th. Today, another long shadow. This shows there's a good, strong amount of volatility, which is why you're getting this expansion as well. Another reason in addition to the strength. But it has super, obviously, contended great with the Japan Nikkei crashes in August. And this whole 200-day moving average was a source of, support, but it also was a really important line in the sand just until mid-October. And now it's really taken lift. After these, 3-month highs, after it got over that 70K mark. It was very super important. And then, of course, 73 for the 52-week highs. Anyway, so as I said, I think it's absolutely reasonable for the pullback. And it might shock people. It might come Thanksgiving night, or who knows? The market's perverse and it can go reverse. I don't know. That rhymes. But I totally see a pullback to 75 to 80K makes a lot of sense. And then I think it's going to rocket ship to, that 6-figure mark by end of year. So I would expect for a pullback. Just don't forget, trees don't go to the sky. This can be overbought for a little bit longer. We began this overbought period on that breakout on the 11th. It did it back here in February. It did it for a short amount of time last December. This can last for, the longer part of February 23rd to March. I mean, we just did it in March for about 3 weeks. Now you're entering your 8th day. It could have a little bit more legs. The upper Bollinger Band goes up to 97. Could have it. I saw some people talking about 100K this week. Anything's possible, but I'm not betting on that. I do think we got to pull back to about 80K in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and then Okay, top three losers of the past 5 days. You cannot shake biotech down. This is the biggest net trade this week, down 7.5%. Today, up 1.3. So we've been looking for where is this going to base before you hop in. You want to buy into strength. You see where the 200-day moving average is at 94.96. Still want to see where this base is. I want to see how much it holds. I think I literally verbatim said this yesterday or the other day. I want to see how much it can hold above $93 as it moves towards 95. I know it sounds I don't know, maybe that sounds too simple. But 93 is a lower Bollinger Band before it had that vol expansion for one, and it was previous support going back to midsummer. So I'm going to see at least how many closes it gets above that. Today is day one with a pretty good looking candle. We'll see how much it gets to 95, and then I don't think this is going to have market cooperation due to my how I think things are going to go. So I think this gravitates towards $98, but I think that's the ceiling on it in the short term. So I don't. I'd rather be a buyer just because it's so beat up, this group, and I think it's going to get magnetized to 95. But again, I'm not chasing stocks right here. Sounds convoluted, but I mean, it's just so weak. Want to see how it gets there. I'm pretty sure it's going to get to 95 soonish. That's what I'm saying. All right, next. Semiconductors are the next weakest area. So obviously that's heavy beta, market related. So we're talking about the strength. It's uranium, it's gold miners, Bitcoin. Not a ton of beta in those things. It's not Apple, Nvidia, and Microsoft, which is the top three in the S&P 500. So here you look at the biotech down. That's for the risk takers out there. And obviously a Kennedy trade. And then the semiconductor is down 4% in the past 5 days. Not a great return if you're along the Qs. So when we said Bitcoin was battling, a stallion there, doing new PRs and things like that. Bitcoin, it took a while and it defended against the 200-day, and now it's up above it with highs back in March, and it took 8 months for it to break it, right? So tech through semiconductor, specifically a SOXX, peaked in July. It is still contending with its 200-day moving average. In fact, we haven't been able to hold it since the 8th of November. So, and this is now we are 4 months removed from the 52-week highs. So similar to what I just said on biotech, I want to see how it closes above 93 a couple times. I want to see how this does towards 211. I want to see how many closes it can get above there. So far, if my math serves me correctly, it's this is the third day. I want to see how it does and what kind of move it gets towards 227. I think this actually gets to maybe 223, and then that's it for this. This group has been really underperforming. I think I'm just seeing a lot more about it like FinTwit and just posts and then the financial advisor and stuff like that, that this is not the place it once was due to this bloated expectations of earnings estimates, blah, blah, blah. All that being said, I do think you have to be long this. Bitcoin and the banks, just that's common sense. It's you have to do it. It's just math. And then lastly, IWM down 3%. So the losers this week, that's a lot of market stuff. Biotech, I mean, is its own thing. Semiconductors, very important, down 4%. And then the Russell down 3%. So these indices are already pulling back. You're already seeing them do that since those highs were put in on the 11th. It's happening. So I know volatility was up 3%, and I do want to note that as well. So it's another thing that was coinciding with my distribution phase. But we can have the market rip as well. It doesn't have to do, obviously, what I tell it. So IWM, similar to what I said about the market in terms of clearly defined risk reward, I think it was 585 for SPY. Here, I really expect IWM to bounce around 228, right around there. I think that 200-day moving average of 210 will, I do believe that will certainly hold. And then I don't love this area, though, for the next 2 weeks or so with your downside down to about ultimately 216. I don't think we'd go below that. So clearly defined risk reward in that as well. So 216, I said 14 points of downside, and then ultimately in the end of December, I think this gets towards 240, 245. All right. So again, those risk rewards down 14 and then up 14. So right here, even money, I would pick better spots. Trade accordingly. All right. So top three absolute trades of the past 5 days: short biotech through XBI, 7.5% in your pocket. Long uranium up 5% in your pocket. So I'm in a biotech. That's been painful this week. It's not even related to Kennedy, but it's been just sell now and ask questions later. But it's a big position. It's been super profitable all year. Long uranium, I'm in that play up 5%, thankfully. And then long GDX also in that play. It was one of the biggest losers last week. Now it's one of the biggest winners in that play. It is not a race, it's a marathon. And the next video will be a big end of week recap. Watch Bitcoin, check out NVIDIA earnings tomorrow afternoon. we'll see. Even if they say they crush it, people are expecting them to, poop gold. So for pooping gold, peace.